when you take a look at kylenecho.net, you're going to notice it looks a lot different. And
Mhm.
it's very Cameron's World inspired. Which I took a look at the GeoCities site, and I started taking a look at GeoCities sites, going like, I love this stuff. This is what the internet used to be.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
internet had personality to it, like, and then Yahoo decided to say no, so Neocities stepped in, and then they decided to keep it going.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
looking at Cameron's World, like looking on that website alone, is very interesting. 'Cause it's got a lot going on, and it basically forces you to discover things.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Now you might be wondering, oh, where's my old website? Well, you can still find it. Um, it's like you'll still see the old site if you're able to find it, and it's easy to find. I would think you just gotta click on like the emote at the bottom, and it'll
Oh.
take you to the old one. Yeah, it's the emote. It looks like NecoArc. Then it will take you to the old site
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I still wanted to at least keep that. And then I
Mhm.
also have like some web rings for other people who've making their NeoCity sites and another VTuber site for Orange is Orange. So like I think that's really cool.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And learning HTML is definitely something that people should be doing more, especially now since we're dealing with like I don't know Twitter being shit right now.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, it would be really good for people to kind of like do that. That way they have the way they can like share their art, share their posts, make their own blog like I made. Learn how certain things work. Even if you do use like a template for it,
Mhm.
it's really good. And I think more people should be getting into that, especially with like resources like the HTML cheat sheet and W3 schools. And eventually I do want to make like I want to add sound as well as like have like a moving part of a background at some point. Like I'm still
Uh-huh.
learning things.
Uh-huh.
Get that full GeoCity experience.
Actually bringing you back to the 90s. No, I think it is a
Yeah.
good thing that more people are, at least some people are interested in, like actually having their own site, because that was the way things were. This idea of
Yeah.
everyone just being on these like core websites, just that's a relatively recent thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's been a thing now for like 15 or so years, but that's not how the web always was, and it doesn't have to always be like that. You can have
Yeah.
your own personalized presence on the web.
Yep. And there's also sites like Space Hay and kind of like give yourself a MySpace clone.
Mm-hmm.
You got NeoCities. There might be a fork of NeoCities as well somewhere. But like these sites exist so you can make a website without having to pay like the Squarespace fees. You can make it for free if you want
Mm-hmm.
to. On HTML, you can get a lot of mileage out of 1 gigabyte.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay $5 to NeoCities, you get about 50 gigabytes, which is still a lot for that. So
Mm-hmm.
like you get a lot out of that, and I've definitely put the work in I could around the time when I was doing my 2.0 reveal, especially with like this model here, my NecoArc model, which like if you go on the website, there's a model showcase button that actually shows
Yes.
you all the models I put on here, except the PNGs,
Mm-hmm.
um, of like the low poly model, NecoArc model, the model I'm currently using, and then the old models I was using. So like,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely like a whole like model repository. They like show people like where things have sort of progressed in that front.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another thing I think like some people could probably get into is learn how to make their own server. And I've had a taste of that recently when I was making servers for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate on the
Mm-hmm.
3DS. And I can't tell you where to get that stuff, but you can do what you can. But it's a really interesting thing because basically what it does is it caused me to learn how Docker Desktop works, and it learned me I basically had to learn how to make a Docker Compose file. I had to make it to where the OS is essentially on the press of a button will boot up Docker Desktop, boot up the containers, connect to the internet. Um, it just works. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's running through a thin client I just wasn't using, and it's just going to be on until like a power outage happens or I turn it off by accident.
Mm-hmm. You're kind of be exploring a lot of random things on the side.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's good to have that experience because like you know Linux is like the beginning, and then it kind of puts you down a rabbit hole. You're like, oh, what else can I do? And you
Mhm,
just start discovering, well, I can do a lot of stuff on Linux actually, a lot more stuff than I thought I could do on Windows.
mhm.
Like I have a advanced or basic like an intermediate understanding like when it comes to like computers in general. Like I know how to take them apart. I know how to like mess with software. I know how to do like tweaks and everything. But like Windows, I mean for the Windows, sure. I used to do Windows. Linux is definitely like something that definitely kind of opens your eyes to like what the possibilities are,
Mm, mm,
and you're not like stuck.
mm. Yeah, once you have that
Really
power,
good.
like you might as well just you
Go
might as well
all
just see
in.
what you can do with it. Yeah. But like at the
Yeah,
same
it's just
time, for someone who doesn't want to do
yeah.
that, who just wants to, use their system and just be done with it, like
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to use your system and just be done with it, there's like actually tiers on what I believe are what people can use.
mhm,
So like first you have something like Bazite, which is basically base level OS, play games, surf the internet, maybe stream. Nothing super, difficult, at least out the gate. Then you have, if you want something a little bit more personal but still simple, you have Linux Mint and Zorin OS.
mm, mm,
Linux Mint and Zorin OS are distributions that kind of guide you on what you can do, but they still kind of give you everything. But they are also built on older package sets, so you're not like on Wayland,
mm,
but
mm,
you are still at least given enough room to learn things if you want to learn stuff. And then
mm,
you have Pika OS, Kashi, and Nobara, which is basically like everything before that, where it's like easy to use, has its own package sets, but it's more up to date. You get more up to date packages. You're on Wayland. Uh, you still have room to learn things, but it also gets a lot of things out of the way that you don't have to worry about anymore. That way, it gives you more time to less time to troubleshoot things and more time to just kind of use it.
mm.
And then if something does happen, it's not that hard to troubleshoot because at least in these discords, if you were to ask somebody from the dev team or ask somebody from the support team, they'll help you.
Mm.
They won't be like, oh, congratulations for joining Linux, but you're on the wrong OS. You should be using Arch.
Yeah, you get a bit of that.
Yeah.
You get a bit of that in some places on the internet.
Oh
That's for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and that's what people are like. I have some people like try to say, "Oh, we got to have a PhD to use Linux." Like, no, you don't.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
could just use Bazite and just use it. You don't have to like learn how to code the whole. You don't have to learn how to code your wallpaper.
mhm.
Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do what the gifs say and go, "Oh, I'm installing a web browser and a million lines of codes happen." Like, no, it's like you go to Software Center and you type in uh, Zen, Brave, Chrome, or Firefox, and you hit the install button, and then you put your password in, and that's it. You're not like, oh, I got to type in terminal. Like a lot of these distributions nowadays, you do have the option for terminal because they want to make sure that you have that option.
Mhm.
You don't ever have to use it. You can use their package managers by looking at their names. You can use software centers. You can use Flatpak through the software centers itself too.
Mhm, mhm.
So you don't have to do any of that at all. And so you don't need a PhD. You just need to know how to use a computer. And even if you don't, there's always Zorin OS.
I think Zoran's a neat idea. Like they
Ah,
really wanted to make a experience that was very familiar to Windows. I do think there's
oh yeah,
there's issues that come with that because when something is very familiar, you're going to expect it to work like the exact same way. So
yeah. I think
there's some
mhm.
concern with that. Like if there's any areas where it is a bit weird, then that stands out even more than using something you know is weird.
I think I think it needs to be familiar for people because if it's not familiar, they won't use it.
That's
Now,
fair.
if but that needs to be the preface that it's not going to be the same. Some
Mm,
things might work very similarly to it, but it's not the same, and people need to be aware of that.
mm, mm,
That yes, it's you want something similar out the gate because you'll see some people who have been on Windows for years and they go, "Oh, I like KDE and everything," but I started using Hyperlink and Neri, and oh my god, it's opened my eyes.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
you'll have people like that, or you have people like me who it's like, I just like KDE and Cinnamon. I don't want to use anything else, maybe I'll use XFCE for like server tasks. It's really good for that actually. And like it's just really, it's just less of a headache you have to deal with, and you just kind of just use your computer
Mhm.
without having like that issue. Like it's not like, oh, I have to consult a dictionary on how to use my OS. Like, no, that's not always the case, especially with modernized distros with
Mhm.
optimized defaults. And I will always recommend optimized defaults for distros because this leaves people the open door of, oh, I don't have to do these 50 things, and it could just be done in one button.
Yep.